Hi.
Welcome to ESC Fan TV. Thank you for joining us for this fantastic night. It's the Destination Eurovision final, and we are going to have our recap show. Stay tuned. It will be fire. Who have we got on the show tonight? We have Andy Brooke.
Bonsoir, mon ami.
Bonsoir, Andy. We have Joe.
Bonsoir.
We have from the Let Me Be the One podcast and radio show and blog, I should say. It's Martin Palmer.
Hi, everyone.
We have Michelle and Phil Harrison.
Hello. Voulez-vous coucher avec moi ce soir?
No.
No. we have Tristan.
Hello.
We have the lovely Ness.
Good evening.
And as always, we have my co-host. We have Tom.
Bonsoir.
So France, 61 entries in Eurovision, won 5 times. Are they going to win again? Tonight's show will take you through all eight final entries from tonight. We'll talk about the winners, the losers, the ones that we thought we did better than expected. We are going to start with Chimene Badi, Lahore. Ness, big name in France, Chimene, 36 years old. She took part in the 2002 Pop Stars in France, topped the French charts in 2003, and won the 3rd season of Dancing with the Stars. What did you make of Lahore?
Very nice. I thought it was beautiful in terms of just, I think for all of them, they've got stronger and they really wanted it. And I think she was testament to that. I think she put lots of effort in tonight. So, yeah.
Andy, what did you make of Lahore?
Oh, well, this was my favourite. I didn't think she was the best performer. She has a lovely voice. She wasn't very confident in the way she presented the song, but it was my favourite. And I was surprised she did as well. Was she 3rd?
Yeah, she was. She came 3rd, 119 points. Yeah, just ahead of La Promesse, Emmanuel Moire. And Mitchell's joined us all the way from sunny Sydney. Hey, Mitchell.
Good day.
No, we can't hear you. There's no audio, unfortunately. We'll move straight on to Phil and Michelle. Phil, Michelle, what did you make of Chimene Badi's Lahore?
Well, I thought the Celine Dion cover version she did was brilliant, but I thought the actual song was a bit repetitive and she didn't really sing that as well as she did the cover version. And also, what was going on with the bloke in the fish tank?
Yet again, Phil's wrong. I loved it. I thought she was brilliant. But I think if she'd have put on a sequin frock and gone for it a bit, she'd have been all right. But she just looked a bit plain Jane. I've just come from the office. Oh, I'll knock this song out. There was nothing about her. She needed something a bit more. Put a sequin dress on her. I think it's him it's heavy breathing.
No, I thought she was understated French, classic style, but anyway.
Yeah,
Were we surprised that this did as well as it did? It came 3rd, of course, 119 points. Michelle, were you surprised that this finished as high as it did?
No, I thought she would do really well. I thought it was a really, really good song. I thought she sang it well. It was a bit dodgy on the low notes, but I think everyone sounded a bit sort of, I don't think the sound was as good as it was last week. I'm not sure what happened, but I think if she'd have put a bit more effort into the way she looked and the staging, I think it could have won, but I'm not surprised that she came 3rd.
Could we send it for our song?
Why not? Andy, what did you make of Chimene's box?
Oh, well, yeah. They had some nice contents.
Did you like the LED screens rising from her box?
Yeah, I know what you're trying to get out of me, and I'm not, I'm not going to rise. I'm not going to rise to that. It was very nice. It was a lovely box.
It was a nice box. Moving on to Sylvain Areg. Sylvain Areg, Allez le dire. He started off by singing the 1991 French entry, which came 2nd, of course, to Carola. He's 39 years old. He's good friends with Dusson, which we'll cover a little shortly. He sang the song Le Petit Nicolas, which translates as Little Nicky. It's written after a famous character of French literature. The song was retro with an urban influence. Martin, what did you make of Little Nicky?
Well, I thought this would have absolutely no chance. I thought all the surprise and the fun of the semi-final would be lost because we'd seen it all before, and he didn't sing it as well as he did in the semi-final either. And the cover was brutal. It just chopped it to bits, and I just thought he was going to be making out the numbers. So when he ended up being where he was for the juries, I just thought, my God, how did that happen? But then the French public
Martin
put him where he should have been.
Joanne.
Yeah, I just didn't like it at all, really. I mean, I love the song and I love him, and he was my dark horse in the semi. But I just don't think he did such a good version this time. And I have a feeling he probably came across better in the studio than he did to the rest of us, which is why he didn't get so well in the public.
Oh, can I just say then, while there's a blank, that I think the reason that he didn't come across so well is that the sound for all of them wasn't as good as it was in the semis.
Yeah, there seemed to be a problem with the sound, I thought, for him. The cover, I just thought, made him sound like a Devonshire farmer. Because it was... when he's going, ooh-wah, ooh-wah, ooh-wah.
Something, didn't he? It just wasn't right.
Oh wait, we've been told we're not allowed to swear. Can we swear in French?
No.
It was
no.
It was dreadful. It was just awful.
I'm having some
worst
technical
song of the
issues
night
here. I
for
don't know
me.
whether you can hear me.
Yeah,
we
we're
can
carrying
now.
on
We
with
can
our
now.
It was all fur coat, no knickers.
Tom, can you take over temporarily? I'll try and figure out what's happening.
Yeah,
We can hear
that's
you,
fine.
Tom.
Carry on, guys. I think we're doing a fantastic job. Stuart.
Okay, for me,
okay.
it was the most shocking song of the night. I hated it when I heard it before, and I hated it tonight just as much.
It sort of reminded me
sorry.
of Vital Picard's from 2007, which was a sort of whimsical song that I thought worked really well. But maybe the lyrics were great and we just didn't understand them. Tristan?
They were okay. They were sort of like all about young boy trying to get out of his small village and see the world. It was obviously based on this character from the 50s. It was okay. The lyrics were quite fun, but I was really amazed that the international jury went for it, and in fact scored it higher than the televote. If I were a betting man, which I am, but I didn't actually bet, I would no way would I have thought that the international jury would have given it a higher placing than the televote.
Well,
Yes.
Does that suggest that the international voters just think that something like that sounds as if it must be good? Because
Typical French, maybe.
Well, yeah. I think it was. I think it's what the French actually think. A French-sounding song should actually be like, and I think that's why France scored. France. I think that's why Sylvain scored so highly. One thing to note, obviously, Stuart introduced this as La Petite Nicolas, but obviously Sylvain was forced to change the name of the song, and it was actually Allez le dire when it was performed this evening, as opposed to La Petite Nicolas. But we should really press on and move on. So the third song of the evening was Stuart.
I'm back with you now. Apologies, this has not happened before. We're having some technical difficulties. The third song of the evening was The Divas with La Voix d'Arita. Amalia, Sophia and Stacey all played the divas in Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, all took part in The Voice France. How energetic and fantastic was this song? I'm going to come to Tom straight away. Tom, what did you make of the divas this evening?
Do you know what? In actual fact, I think it's a lot of fun. I think the trouble is that the surprise had gone. There was a massive surprise last week. They turned up in bright red PVC. They had the vocals. They had a fantastic cover. I thought picking Waterloo as your cover song before you go into it, it was a brave choice. I don't think it paid off for them. And I think then when they went into the song, it had lost that energy. Harmonies, fantastic, but the energy that was there, it was just one step out of time.
One step out. Nice little Michael Ball reference there, Tom.
Oh, yes.
Everyone appreciate that. And I'm going to come to Martin next. Martin, what did you make of the Divas?
I think Tom's basically said everything there. The Waterloo sort of worked because they tried it. Part of it worked. So I think when they had it slow, they could cope with it. Then they tried to do it like ABBA, and it didn't work. They sang it. Their voices were really good again. They had the routine down again. But as Tom said, I think because we had seen it on the semi-final, I think it did lose the impact that it had then. And I think probably where they finished up, sort of just below mid-table, was about right for the night.
And I'm going to come to Phil. Phil, what did you make of this?
I think I agree with everyone else. It was a little bit lackluster. In the semis, they really belted it out, and this time it just seemed a little bit, they held back. And also, I don't think the outfits were as good. I don't know why they looked like some sort of Grease tribute thing, but it didn't really work for me.
So, but did we think this could have done better, though? I mean, in the end, it certainly was one of the sort of, top performances in the first half of the show. And it kind of just drifted by the time you had the likes of Bilal and Seemone perform. Could this have done better if it was in the second half of the running order? And I'll come to Tom again with that.
Do you know what? I really don't think it would have done. I think it still would have picked up the votes it did, because I think at the end of the day, this was a song that was a bit like Marmite. You either loved it or you hated it. And I think that showed in the jury votes, where you got some gave it 12 points. And then there were others who were just either scoring it lowly or not giving it any points at all. And I think to that, I think it probably would have just ended up in exactly the same place.
So that was the Divas. Just a shout out to the chat room, Tom. What's happening in the chat room this evening?
Over in the chat room, we've got a couple of people commenting on Bilal's victory. We've got, again, David Ray saying that there was a surprise of the night. And I think that was his comments on Kiem, actually. And then also a comment that the winner, there was huge disparity between the public and the juries. But I think we're going to be discussing that a bit later on. And also a comment, the Divas were really good, but a little bit underwhelming.
Wow. Just like to apologise for the technical difficulties we're facing this evening. It's a bit of a one-off. I'm not quite sure what's happening there. It may very well be simply Wi-Fi related. So apologies and thank you for sticking by. Don't forget to click the subscribe button and also click the like button. Of course, at the end of this show, we will be downloading it to YouTube. You can click the YouTube link and rewatch, and also you will be able to catch this broadcast on Spotify, on iTunes, on Stitcher, and on TuneIn from Monday onwards. So song 4 was Emmanuel Moire with La Promesse. He won Dancing with the Stars in 2013. He has 4 studio albums, 1 gold, 1 platinum, and he won the second semi-final via the televote. Emmanuel wrote the song, and the song is about Emmanuel suppressing his sexuality. He's keeping a promise to himself. Ness, what did you make of Emmanuel Moire?
Oh, I wish he was on my bus. Oh, what a lovely man. And I thought, superb performance. I thought the dancers were right for, the whole sort of demonstrating that by ripping his sleeves off and, sort of undressing him. And I think obviously what they were trying to portray was, that this facade sometimes that people hold where they're not free to express their sexual orientation. So yeah, no, really enjoyed it. I thought his voice again. I didn't pick up so much of the sort of poor mic issues or whatever was going on. It felt very strong to me, and he enjoyed it. You could see he was enjoying the performance, the passion, you know, the strength of voice that he was using in it. So yeah, I enjoyed it.
And I'm going to come to Andy. Andy, what did you make of Emmanuel Moire?
Oh, well, I thought he was very much like Gina G. He fluffed his high notes. And in a song like that, you really can't afford to. You've got one high note, and he fluffed it. He fluffed it in the semi-final as well. He's got a nice voice. It was a really lovely song. Seemed like the message was great. But that was the part of the song that was used in the reprise. So he didn't really stand a chance of winning with that one note that was shot.
We're going to come to Mitchell. Mitchell, hopefully your mic's working now. What did you make of this song? No, still nothing, unfortunately. Tom, what did you make of Emmanuel Moire?
Do you know what? I really wanted him to do well. I thought it had a good song, good performance. And as Andy said, I was even willing to forgive the high note as well that was just off key. But it was unfortunate for him that was the clip they used in the reprise. I have to say, I was very surprised how badly is the wrong word, but compared to the other songs, how he performed in the public vote, I would have thought he would have picked up more votes this evening, especially given the fact that he was mostly so consistent with the international juries. I did start to wonder if he was going to be the person to try and snatch the crown off of Bilal at one stage.
Yeah, so that was Emmanuel Moire. I mean, he won the second semi-final televote. He didn't fare as well tonight, unfortunately. Where did he finish, Tom?
Do you know what, Stuart? That's a really
he finished
good
in
question.
fourth.
I think he finished fourth.
Yeah, 115 points. So not nearly sort of touching third there. Third, of course, was Lahore. Moving on to song 5, Do Song with Sois un bon fille. He's 33 years old. I mentioned earlier about the connection, relationship between himself and Sylvain Areg. In the 90s, he was a member of the French group Colours, has worked with Sylvain Areg on many projects in France, various different singers. And his song was contemporary, part of the Afrobeat genre. And it was about his mum's expectations of her son, hence the little lad that was in front of him singing and dancing along. Ness, what did you make of this one?
Yeah, I liked this one. Thought it was really good. The young lad on stage sort of mirroring the dancing, and really, it was. I don't know. I just got a really good feel-good sense from it by the end of the song. You know, just felt uplifted and kind of I thought it was just really nice, and he seemed like a really nice chap. If you can get that from somebody singing and interpreting his French, which I didn't really.
And Michelle, were you a fan of Du Son and his Afrobeat?
Yeah, I loved it. I thought it was brilliant. And we saw that there was another man singing at the front of the stage as well as him. But I mean, that's nothing unusual. It happens all the time. I thought it was really good. It was something different, something a bit unusual. It would have stood out. I think the winning song is just going to get lost. I think this would have done a lot better. Yeah, I loved it. Absolutely loved it.
Coming to Tristan. Tristan, what did you make of Du Son?
It was really, I liked it. I was surprised it did so badly. It's a very charming song, and I thought he did better than the previous one. To be honest, in the previous versions, I was quite surprised he did quite so badly. So I'm having some real technical problems tonight. It's I think we all are.
Yeah, it's not a great show for technology tonight and connectivity. So I apologise to everyone who's joined us this evening. This is a first for me.
It's the weather.
It's a... I must admit, I'm now having further issues with my phone. So it really is one of those evenings. So apologies. Can't win them all.
It's coming. Stuart, you're coming across perfectly well, though.
Okay, well, that's good. That's good.
We can see you and we can hear you.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. So moving on to Tom. Tom, what did you conclude Doosan for us? What did you think of Doosan?
Do you know what? The beauty, the sheer beauty of Doosan is that this is a guy who was simply just happy to be there. He didn't expect to get through last week. It was written all over his face. He didn't expect to get through last week. He was absolutely made up just to actually be in that final. And I think it showed through in that performance. He didn't care whether he came first, second, or last. He was just someone doing what he loved doing, having a whale of a time. And I think that really showed.
He looked like he was having a great time. And I mean, we were sort of debating if he were to win, what would he do with regards to the young lad that was performing? Because the rules of the Eurovision Song Contest are that you cannot take someone on stage with you who is under the age of 16. Andy, what would you do in his situation? I mean, he didn't win, so it's all sort of, it's hypothetical at this point. But had he won, what would he have done? Would he have gone the Mons Zemelo route and had an LED screen behind him, perhaps? Or have we been there and done that?
They would have come up with some... The boy would have been there. The song was all about the little boy, wasn't it? So I'm sure they would have found a way around it.
Yeah. And coming on to song 6, well, this was the favourite going into tonight. Seemone, or Leah Simoncini is her real name, singing the song Tous les deux. She's 21 years old. She's heavily influenced by Amy Winehouse, Nina Simone, and, of course, Adele. Now,